What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 9, episode 2. Are we on season 9? Yeah, season 10, episode 2. So we start this episode off with what I like to call damage control. We have Dorit and we have her husband breaking down all of the stuff that was in the news, explaining to us his history. We found out they just bought a new home. Dorit put it in her name, and she said, "What's the big deal? I mean, do you and your spouse, do y'all buy everything in both of you all's name?" And she is true. I mean, she's right about that. So okay, I'm gonna give you that. She said that well, what they were explaining to us was that now we know that they settled the lawsuit against her company, Beverly Beach, Malibu Beach, whatever the damn company was called. Remember, we found that out last week. So now we're finding out that now we're finding out that there was that they had stuff they had froze the Reese bank accounts, and what we found out was that the judge ordered that the money in those bank accounts go towards his debt. And he was like, I feel bad because that debt was incurred before I even met you. It's not your debt, yet they took your money to pay off my debt, which tells me that you ain't have enough money in your account to pay off your debt. But okay. So they give us a history lesson on who her husband is. And basically what they're saying is that he, was in real estate. He had made all this money prior to the stock market or the credit crash a few years ago, with the housing market and everything crashed. And as a result, he basically was broke. And that's when he met Dorit. Dorit said, yeah, he was a little bit more than broke when I met him. She was like, yeah, just a little bit. And so, of course, then they wanted to talk about the bankruptcies and people calling them con artists and all of this. And I can't help but think, had Lisa Vanderpump still been on this show and had they been in a better place, that they wouldn't have to be explaining themselves so much. I know a lot is in the press. I got that. But people always have their business in the press, and they pick and choose but I feel like, I just have a feeling that if her and Lisa Vanderpump were in a better place, that it would have been handled. I don't know how to word it. I just feel like, anyway, forget it. That's just my opinion. Whatever. But it definitely came off as damage control. Let me give you 80% of the story so you'll stop looking for the 20% I'm not telling you about. And here's the thing. What we all understand is that rich people problems are not the same as our problems. A rich person's bankruptcy is not the same as if I file bankruptcy. We understand that. And at the end of the day, I guess she does have her own money because she was able to afford this nice, huge ass house that she paid for. So whatever. But I just find it very interesting that we're getting all this information about her husband and what he has and what he doesn't have. Then we see Garcelle. Y'all know I'm gonna struggle with that name. And it's a pretty name, but I swear I always want to say something else. But anyway, she's buying a new home, and she tells us her story. She's buying a new home. She said that since her divorce, she's lived in the same house. Her kids have gone to the same school. She went to the same dry cleaner. She went to the same grocery store. And she said that this is an attempt that she's finally finding her own space. She said the kids are moving into middle school, so they have to change schools anyway. And so she's finally able to move into a different place. It looks like it's a really nice. At first, when they first pulled up, it looked like it was like some townhomes, right? But then when they went inside and broke it down, it is, first of all, I mean, even if it's a townhome, let me be clear. Again, even if it's a townhome, I have seen some townhouses that like 5 level with rooftop deck, and I mean, I have seen some. 2 of my best friends live in a townhouse like that, so I'm not saying nothing about a townhouse. Let me be clear. But once we got inside, it is beautiful. And she's building it herself. So she said, it is truly hers. She gets to pick the appliances and the cabinets. And she really feels like it's hers. And it's a statement, sort of her statement that she's making after her divorce. Now, she went on to explain to us that she was married to her husband and life was great. He was an agent. She was an actress. They were living this wonderful Hollywood life. She said they were like Hollywood royalty. She said, and then one day she asked to use his phone. And she saw a text message from somebody that said, I love you. And she asked her husband, sir, what's this right here? And he said, I got something to tell you. And he proceeded to tell her that he had been having an affair. And so her question, which is a natural question. Now she said they've been married for 9 years. So she asked the next question, which was, how long have you been having this affair? And his answer was 5 years. You've been married for 9 years and you have been having an active affair with another woman for 5 of those 9 years? Why you even bother to get married, bruh? She said that her being the type, she said, I am a hothead, and me being the person that I am, I sat down the next day and I penned an email and I titled it, what does Tiger Woods, the guy that used to be married to Sandra Bernhardt, and her husband have in common? They're both cheaters. And she proceeded to break down what happened, how she found out. And that is the infamous email that we all heard about, because she said she sent it to family and friends and someone leaked it to the press. Of course someone leaked it to the press, girl. And I'm sure there's a part of you that wanted that to happen, because come on. But she said that she's not sorry she did it, that it helped put her where she is today, and she loves where she is today. So that was good to hear her side of the story and hear, because again, I remembered the story, but I didn't dig too deep into it. It wasn't that deep for me, you know what I mean? Then we see Lisa Rinna and Teddy, and we find out that Lisa Rinna is still dealing with issues with her daughters. Her younger daughter posted something on social media about having anxiety and about living with anxiety, and that, that a part of her is just scared to grow up, and, just the anxiety of, she said, and not being happy with what she's doing, which I don't know if she was talking about college or she was talking about the modeling or whatever. So, of course, Lisa, she said that she's proud of her daughter for telling her story, but then there's also a part of her that, because the backlash is always, well, what did you do? You're a horrible parent. You're a horrible mother. She said people get on her, because her daughter dealt with anorexia. And she said people get on her because of her social media, where she gets on social media in a bikini and she dances and stuff like that. And that maybe that's making her daughter feel some kind of way and all of those different things. So it was a moment. I always feel in that moment, because as a parent, there's no perfect parent, and you don't come with an instruction manual. And when your kids have issues and she said she got her daughter a therapist, and her daughter was in New York, and she said the therapist called and told her, this isn't the right place for her in this moment. This isn't right. She's not going to prosper. And so she opened up about that. And again, Lisa Rinna, people can say what they want to say about Lisa Rinna, but one thing Lisa Rinna, from where I sit, Lisa Rinna's going to give it to you straight with no chaser. You may not always like what you get, but she's going to give it to you. And so I appreciate her telling her story. And again, you just never know who you're helping. You just never know. I would love to see Lisa Rinna find an organization that maybe she could be the spokesperson for when it comes to that, maybe dealing with youth who have these issues, something like that. And I'm not saying she hasn't done it. I'm just saying, as far as I know, and I would love to see it. Now, Denise, we found out that Denise has hernia, and she has to have surgery for her hernia. Now, Denise ain't tell nobody that she was in pain. She said that the doctor, the first the doctor thought it was a tumor, and she said, well, of course, I didn't want to say anything about that, because who wants to go to the doctor and find out about that? I get it from a point of view of who wants bad news. But from the point of view of you are the mother of 3, you just got to take it where it comes. Like, if you're in this much pain and you think it's a tumor, your response is, I'm not going to go get it checked out. Denise, anyway. So then we have Kyle. I'll get back to Denise and her tumor, honey. So then we have Kyle meeting up with Sutton. Now listen, y'all, let me be clear. Sutton is a snob, okay? Sutton is a snob. And I told y'all last week that I knew Sutton was a snob, and it was cracking me up. Sutton was still a snob this week, and it was cracking me up a little bit, but I felt like this episode she was trying a little too hard. Last episode, I think she was just being catty and she was being shady as fuck. This episode, now you're trying too hard. She's meeting up with Kyle, and she's getting ready. We find out she's opening up a boutique, and so she says something to Kyle about, yeah, I was thinking about starting my own line and maybe calling it, yacht wear. She said, because I don't know, what is loungewear? What is that? And so Kyle was like, well, you may not want to call it yacht wear because then you might alienate people who don't have yachts or who can't afford a yacht. She was like, oh. So then they said something about doing a trunk show. And she said, yeah, and then we can she said, yeah, we can play Yacht Rock. Now, I thought she was talking about a game, Yacht Rock, like rock, paper, scissors. I don't know what the fuck she was talking about. And neither did Kyle. Kyle was like, should I know what that is? And she was like, yeah. I mean, she was like, well, what is Yacht Rock? It's the music you play when you're on the yacht. You just want to bring it up about a yacht. I think what you wanted Kyle to ask you was how many yachts you had or what was in. I think you were trying to lead Kyle down a road to have a conversation about yachts. And honey, Kyle wasn't biting. Kyle was just like, oh, okay. All right then. Something else she said that was real shady. I forgot. But anyway, we're gonna get back to Miss Sutton and her shady. But of course she was being shady. We found out again, her and her husband divorced. Now they blurred her husband's face all the way out. So he has not agreed to be a part of her storyline, honey. But of course in the divorce she got a lot of damn money. And she said, she just wanted to do something to try to make her own money. She was like, not because she necessarily needed to make the money, but she just wanted to be able to do something with her own money. And Kyle said that she has a lot of friends who are basically in the same boat as Sutton, that, they suddenly found themselves with a lot of money, but really sort of no purpose, you know what I'm saying? So we'll get back to Miss Sutton, child. Again, Sutton cracks me up. Now I know at a certain point I'm going to be ready to cuss Sutton out because she's doing a lot, but Sutton is Sutton, child. So anyway, Denise also was talking about the situation with Charlie, and somehow or another, it was something about he filed some sort of paperwork, and because she had to respond to the paperwork, that's what, she had to respond to, and that, she was feeling like she hated it. She said, because, she tries not to talk too much about Charlie, because at the end of the day, yes, he's Charlie Sheen, but he's still the mother of her, the father of her children, and he's still their dad. And so she doesn't badmouth him. She doesn't want it to be, and so she said if they do a deposition, then things are going to have to come out and they'll be public, and she doesn't want to do that. And I understand where you're coming from. I absolutely understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, if he's created this situation, you have to do what you have to do, and you've got to protect you and your children as far as the legal side of it is concerned. So anyway, we have Miss Erica Jane and Miss Garcelle meeting up for lunch, honey. And Garcelle shows up looking fabulous. And Erica Jane says, oh, okay, I see you, bitch. You one of them. Okay, so I can't come dressed casual. Because, Erica was giving them the casual look. She said, I can't come dressed casual. Okay, I see what I got to give you, honey. So y'all know the next time Erica meet up with her on a one-on-one, Erica is going to be giving it to her. So we find out that Garcelle is getting ready to be a grandmother because she has a son who's 28 and he's about, well, he ain't about to have a baby, but he's about to be a daddy. And they get on the conversation. And let me tell you something, that damn Erica Jane, listen, I don't know if Erica watches my reviews. I don't even know if a friend of Erica watches my reviews. I don't even know if a friend of a friend of a friend of Erica Jane watches my reviews. But listen, if y'all know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that know Erica Jane, tell her I want that MCM purse she had on, that she had in that scene. That is the cutest little MC. Well, it's a cute bag anyway, but the fact that it's MCM don't hurt. And I know she don't use it no more because this was 6-7 months ago. She has moved on to something else. That is sitting in her closet somewhere collecting dust. Tell her if she's looking for a charity to donate it to, I will give her my P.O. box. That's all I'm saying. Moving on, back to this. So they proceed to have a conversation. And of course, the question that always comes up is about Erica's marriage because she says about her husband being 80 and that he's doing well, and the fact that he's 80 years old, but he's still getting up every day and going to work. And both of them were talking about, and Garcelle was saying how she's looking for a man who is willing to not just take her on, but also take on the fact that she has twin boys and that they want to be a part of their life. And Erica was saying how lucky she was. She said, because not only when my husband was with me, he was immediately a father to my son. It was immediately a connection there. He never treated him any different, and he never treated him like a stepchild. And Erica said, you know what? Yes, my husband is 30 years older than me, and yes, my husband has had a lot of damn money. She said, but he's also a good fucking man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all just don't know how much I love me some Erica Jane, y'all. I love me some Erica Jane, damn it. Anyway, and so then Garcelle asked about the sex life, and I just think that is such a gauche question. I don't give a damn. That is not what. Who goes around doing? Who asks somebody about their sex life with their husband? That is so rude. Rude. And of course, Erica, she said it's fine. She said, I mean, is it 20 years old rolling around in the hay all day long? No, but okay. It just pissed me off. And Garcelle, I like you, but that irritated me. Okay. About as much as it's irritating y'all if I'm saying her name wrong. Moving on. So Teddy. Oh, Teddy. Teddy Jam for me. Okay, Teddy. So Teddy is having a retreat for her business. She's an accountability coach, and she said most people don't understand what that means. And so in an effort to get her friends and family to get a better understanding of what it is that she does, she's having a retreat for her coaches. And she said last year she had the retreat and it was just for coaches only. And so it was sort of closed to everyone. But this year she's opening it up and she's inviting her family and her friends. So she sends out this text message that says, basically, I'm inviting you to a retreat. But if you don't want to come, or if you can't come, my feelings won't be hurt. I mean, that's essentially what it said. So, of course, everybody's reading the text going, well, what the fuck does that mean? Do you want me to come or do you not want me to come? Here's the thing. I know what Teddy did, and I understand what Teddy did. What Teddy did was, I don't really think they're going to come. So before I get my feelings hurt and before I get my hopes up and they just let me down and they don't show up, I'll give them an out. Because I know they really probably don't want to come. Or at least I think they probably don't want to come. But I'm inviting them so that they can't say, she's inviting them for two reasons. One, because contractually they have to have a certain number of events. And this is going to she's probably using this as her event. But you really don't want them to come. That's. But if I'm your friend, I feel some kind of way about that. That's a backhanded damn invitation, So Denise can't go because Denise went to the hospital. She had her hernia surgery, and come to find out when they opened her up, honey, she didn't have one hernia. She had 4 hernias, okay? And they're staying at a hotel. Charlie's watching the girls. They're staying at a hotel, and she's loopy, honey. She didn't had the drugs and she's loopy. And her husband's got like all of this new age alpha wave shit, whatever. So she already, oh no, that's Sutton's event. I'm sorry, that's a different event. Anyway, but she had the surgery. It was successful, but it definitely was a lot more intensive than what they thought it was. And her husband is like, listen, the next time something is wrong, just freaking tell me something is wrong. Like, that's scary. Like, if you had waited any longer, it could have been something that, it could have been more. And she said, I'm just so used to being independent and taking care of myself. It's hard for me to allow a man to take care of me. Child, I ain't buying that bullshit. Whatever, Denise. Neither here nor there. Because I'm not buying that. Anyway. Then we have some great news. I'm gonna get back to Miss Teddy in this damn text message, but then we have the best news ever. Again, y'all know I love me some Erica Jane. Erica gets the contracts for her to be playing Roxy on Broadway in the musical Chicago. Now, what I absolutely hate for Erica is that her 6-month run was interrupted by Rona. And so they had to shut down the show because of, obviously Broadway shutting down. And so I'm sorry that this opportunity didn't end the way she wanted it to end, but she was on Broadway. She did have a couple of weeks, I don't know how long she was on Broadway before they had to shut it down. But we see the moment where she gets the contract, and her husband is so excited for her, and he loves her so much, and he tells her he's proud of her. And Erica, who is normally the rock of Gibraltar, honey, she's got a wall around her the size of this, as thick as that, and she just starts crying, and she said, thank you so much. She said, that means so much to me. And she said, growing up, and if you've watched this show for a couple of years, you know the type of childhood she had, but she said growing up, that's all she wanted. That's all she ever wanted. And was just fulfill that love and that support. And people can say what they want to say about Erica and her marriage and whatever it is or whatever it isn't. But I don't believe for 1 minute that they don't love each other. I just don't. I don't. There's love there. Now, what it looks like when the cameras ain't on ain't my business. Now, so congratulations, Erica Jane. Again, if you seeing this, or somebody who's seeing this, yeah, congratulations, Erica. And I look forward to it resuming when the world gets back to normal, child. Well, whatever our normal is going to be. So Sutton is actually having a grand opening for her her boutique. And the boutique sounds like it's got a little bit of everything. It's got furniture, it's got clothing, it's got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so, like I said, Denise isn't coming because Denise is still in, she's still laid up from the hernia. Kyle isn't coming because Kyle is filming her movie. Remember, she was going to North Carolina to film the sequel to Halloween, or the updated Halloween. So they're not going, but the rest of the ladies are coming through. And they get there, and on the way there, Teddy and Renna rode together, and y'all know Renna good, honey. Renna said, listen, Teddy, I was bad last night. I was talking a little shit. And they were basically clowning Teddy about that damn invitation to the thing. And Renna was saying how she had to go to New York for QVC or for her daughters or whomever. And she was like, so I had to, and I ain't had to go anyway. So she's letting Teddy know that they had gone out for drinks, and that this text message was the topic of conversation, and people was kind of feeling some kind of way about her invitation. But instead of her coming right out and saying it, she's sort of kind of beating around the bush and letting her know, hey, the ladies felt some kind of way about your invitation because they weren't really sure how to take it, because they weren't really sure if you meant it, how you sent it, what you like they don't really know how to take the whole thing. And she was just like, well, honestly, I really just don't care if people come or not. Like, I just don't care. Yes, you do, Teddy. You do care. And what you should have said to them was, listen, I want you guys to understand what I do, but I also understand that this may not be up your alley. I would love it if you guys could come to the retreat, even if you can't stay for the whole thing, just so you understand what it is that I do. And then that way, if people can't come, they'll tell you they can't come. And if they can't stay for the whole thing, then they'll make up their lie or their excuse, and they'll come and they'll leave. But for you to just be like, I mean, I don't care if they come. I really don't care if they come. She was like, no, really, seriously, I don't care if they come. Yes, you do. Oh my gosh, this is 23 minutes, y'all. I've been talking too long. Let me hear you. We almost done. Sorry, y'all. I had a lot of commentary as we've been going through. So, they get to the opening, and of course, like I said, the ladies are there, and Miss Sutton, she's throwing around, yes, this is couture, and yes, this, and yes, that. And y'all know who the first person to call her ass out was, right? Erica Jane. Erica Jane was like, I just don't think it's necessary for you to say something's couture. She said it still look a hot mess. I said, you know what, Erica? And listen, I don't disagree with Erica, but y'all know, I already told y'all, I said it was going to be Dorit, but I forgot about that firecracker, Erica Jane. So, Everybody's happy for Erica. The announcement was made. The press release was made about, she said, I've had to be quiet about this for 6 months, but it's out now. And so everybody is congratulating her. And then they find out, and the media is asking Dorit about her situation with PK and their money situation. Of course, Dorit don't really, she answered the questions, and she was polite to the lady, but you could tell she wasn't trying to be, she was irritated by the whole situation. Lisa Rinna played Roxy in Chicago as well. I didn't know that, years and years and years ago. Then we found out that the mayor of West Beverly Hills is there. And of course, none of the ladies know who he is, because here go Erica. I mean, because Sutton was like, oh my gosh, she's here. Oh my gosh, she's here. Erica was like, I mean, you acting like it's Barack or something. You know what, Erica? I love you so much. But of course, people are kind of, the whole thing about the text message comes up. And again, Teddy is telling them again, well, I mean, I don't care if you come or not. I don't care if you come or not. And Sutton was like, okay, well, I was coming. So what are you saying? Like, are you saying you don't want me to come? I mean, I don't understand, because if you don't want me there, I don't have to come. And again, so it blew up into this big thing because Teddy just doesn't know how to say what, she doesn't know how to allow herself to be vulnerable. And just like you have to have events, Teddy, people have to show up to a certain number of events. So they were going to come, the majority of them. And again, I just said my piece about it. I'm not going to dwell on it because I'm already running long. But again, Teddy, you handled that horribly. You handled that horribly. And I understand why the ladies responded the way they did, because you handled that. That was just ridiculous how you handled that situation. Anyway, so, last but not least, honey, Miss Sutton, the mayor of West Beverly, calls Miss Sutton up there. And instead of Miss Sutton just doing a toast with the mayor and saying, thank you so much for coming, I really appreciate it. He's trying to talk about how the business is coming and how excited they are to have her there. And honey, she starts talking about their traffic laws, and talking about how crazy they, she's gotten these tickets and how the tires have to be turned. She's like, well, why is that? I mean, why do y'all have it that way? Well, why do y'all give out so many tickets? And everybody is like, what? Now, of course, Lisa Rinna was like, I mean, might as well while you have them here. But guess what? You would have had them 5 minutes after he did the toast. Like, you still could have pulled him aside and said, look, bruh, so I'm saying I need to talk. Because that's the other thing she said, something about, well, I need to talk to you about some permits anyway. Not in the middle of him giving a toast in front of your whole room of people. Like, Sutton, for somebody to be so classy last week and to be pointing out what everybody did wrong last week, that was a major social faux pas. And with that, I'm done. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments.